Hey everybody, Mike with Dusty Beard Woodworks. How are you today? So I've had this DeWalt 12-inch miter saw for about 7 years now. Overall it's done really well. I had some problems over the last year or so. Not going to go into huge detail, but basically the blade comes loose after maybe 30 to 40 cuts. Gone through a lot of stuff, have replaced a number of things, haven't been able to fix it. So I decided I would upgrade, change the saw that I have. I've been looking at sliding miter saws, and a couple weeks ago, the Big Orange store had a rigid 12-inch slider that was regularly $500 on sale for $300. Gets pretty good reviews, so I thought, what the heck, I'll go ahead and do it. But there's a problem. So as you can see, this takes up a lot more space. And the biggest problem is, this isn't even pushed all the way back. I wasn't quite figuring how far these extender bars would have to go. So instead of being at the edge of my work surface, this is where it has to be in order to use it. This, you may not be able to see here, but I've got about maybe 20 inches to my work table. I can't be moving around this every time. I would also have to really build this part out. So that's not an option for me. So I think I need to build a new cabinet for this that I can use to go forward. So if you go down just a little bit, you can see here's my old miter station. I have kind of my epoxy stuff. I go right here. I've got my router station here, and you can see this ends right here. So what I think I need to do is build something here that'll be out of the way of moving around. But I think I need like a rolling cabinet. When I'm not using it, it can push back in and kind of be out of the way. But when I do need it, I can extend it out probably another 1.5 feet from the wall. Give me enough room. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and build something. Now, I wanna make this perfectly clear. What I'm building is shop furniture. It's not going to be glorious. It's not going to have, super high-end materials or anything. 2x4s, plywood, and that's going to be about it. It's not going to be anything fancy. I like to do that type of stuff, but I don't spend that time on my shop because it's a useful tool. It needs form and function, and the form is probably secondary to the function. So I'm going to build a cart that's going to have wheels to be able to slide out. And I have an idea for what I want to do for dust collection in the back, because dust collection with miter saws is an age-old issue. So I'm going to go ahead and look at that. And I don't really have it designed out yet because I think I need to build the carcass, and then we can kind of go from there on how this is going to work. Okay, so I'm not a designer at heart for wooden stuff. Most of the stuff that I make, I have a general idea in my head. I may have some basic drawings in that, and that's it. I kind of go from the hip on this stuff. I haven't done stuff with a lot of complex joints and weird angles and things like that, which I know I'd have to plan better. So I designed out, and that's my design. Except I realized I didn't quite like how that was going to turn out. So this is my detailed design that I have. That's it. But right now it's time to cut up some 2x4s. All right, so just got all this stuff cleared out. The space between the edge of the step here and the new edge of the workbench is about 40 inches. I'm planning on making this cart 36 wide, but I want to leave some extra room because I think in the future I'm probably going to build some sort of arms that are going to stand up to be able to support the work pieces better if I'm using longer boards. So I kind of evolve a lot. My shop has taken many different changes as what I do kind of grows and changes. So I just want to give myself that flexibility and not have to redo this whole section again. So now it's time to lay out and start doing some cutting. So I only thought it fitting to use the DeWalt to do the last few cuts, make its last few cuts with me, to make the house for the new saw that is replacing it. So for the main carcass, I need 2x4s, 4 at 19 inches, 4 at 30, and 4 at 33. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use pocket holes to put this stuff together. Now why would I use pocket holes? Because I don't have a Festool domino, and any real woodworker really wouldn't spend the money for a Festool anyway. I mean, they would use the bare basics and get it done, right? What are you doing? You're making us look stupid. Oh my gosh. What? No. I'm cutting the pieces for the outside. We're good. Just can't get good help these days. All right, so really, the reason I'm going to use pocket holes for this is because it's a good joinery technique. Again, it's shop furniture. It's going to help this go together a little more quickly. So let's go ahead and do some pocket holes. So the 19-inch pieces and the 30-inch pieces, they're going to get screwed together using the pocket holes. So I pocketed the 19s to drill into the 30s. These are actually going to be the side pieces, the side structures of the cart. So let's get screwing. Okay, I now have two of these. Again, these are going to be the side pieces. So I'm going to take the 33 inchers and span them across. I'm going to put two on the bottom, and I'm going to put them even with the front and the back, because I'm going to have casters. That way it gives me something to hook to. For the top, I'm going to use three. The one toward the front is going to be right at the front. There's going to be one in the middle. The one in the back is not going to be all the way to the back, though, because that's going to implement the dust collection thing I'm thinking of. So I say we go ahead and get a box built. Okay, so I got the boards cut up, the half-inch plywood One of the reasons I made this this thing 30 inches deep is because I actually already had a piece of plywood that was cut to 30 and 18 roughly for another project that ended up not happening. So instead of wasting material, it made sense, and the 30 actually kind of worked out pretty well. So I cut the pieces for the top and the two sides, but off camera, I actually cut the top piece to 27 inches. I left a little gap here. My goal is to try and make some sort of a little bit of a backstop here, have the sawdust hit and fall down and have a vacuum thing underneath. So that's kind of my plan. Is it going to work? I don't know. I'm just going to use, I have 1 1/4 drywall screws. Again, it's shop furniture. I'll use drywall screws on this. I don't really have a problem with that. So now I'm going to attach the top and then the sides. Okay, so I got the sides and the top attached. Have it flipped over, had to put it down on the floor because it's getting a little too tall to work on the workbench. And plus this is really starting to get heavy. So I'm going to attach the casters and then we'll be ready to flip it over, put the saw on it and get it figured out where it's exactly how it's going to situate. And then I can start worrying about the dust collection thing that I'm trying to think of. So here we go. All right, so basically the card is made, the casters are on. I really like the positioning of this. It's really not in the way that much when it's back, even though it sticks out farther than the countertop I've got there. So now we kind of need to figure out the back and the dust collection idea that's been going in my mind. So let's go over here. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. This is the board that goes on the back. This is the part that's going to be sticking up. My thought is, take a couple of 2x4s, angle them this way, have a plate at the bottom that the dust chute can go into. Once I get this in place, I'll get a deeper piece of plywood put in place there. The dust will come, hit here, fall down, and be sucked into the dust chute. I think that's going to work, but there's only one way to find out. All right, so this is what I ended up with. This is the back. The dust should hit here, fall down. Have a dust port at the bottom. I left a 3-inch gap at the back, not thinking I was using 2x4, so I had 3.5 inches deep here. So I had to cut a little notch out of these two. But this fits right in, fits right under the support. I think I just have to put it on, and then I'll put the piping in, and I think put the bottom floor on, and that should be it. All right, cabinet is built. We got a floor on there. I'll spin this around and show you. So you can kind of see the cavity here. You've got the backstop. Goes just under. I don't know if that's going to be tall enough or not, or if I need to put some other pieces up, but I'm going to need to account the extended distance going back there. The only thing I really have left to do for right now is to get the piping done for the dust collection. But if I'm being honest, you probably don't want to see that. It's not going to be too fun and exciting. So I'm just going to leave this here. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.